Hello friends, I am Vipin Sharma, Assistant Professor, ECE Department. Today, my lecture is on topic strain gauge. In the previous two lectures, we have discussed about the various types of transducer, definition of transducer, what is various types of transducer, and how we measure and how we measure various type of quantity with the help of transducer. Now, this is my third lecture in the continuation of that series. Till now, we have completed LVDT and various types of transducer. Now, my in this lecture, my topic is strain gauge. And to start this before to start this topic, I want to tell you that strain gauge and LVDT is the most important topics for you for your examination, final examination in university exam. So please go through this lecture, and if you have any doubt, please let me know. Now let's start our today topic: strain gauge or measurement of force, pressure, stress, or strain. Basically, till now we have learned how we measure displacement with the help of transducer. In that case, we study three type of transducer: potentiometer, LVDT, and Hall transistor. Now we will learn how we measure force, pressure, stress, and strain with the help of transducer. In this series, we will learn about strain gauge, load cell, and piezoelectric transducer. So first, to what is piezoresistive transducer? Basically, piezoresistive transducer works on the principle of piezoresistivity. And now, what is piezoresistivity? If any metal or semiconductor is stressed or compressed, there will be some change in the resistance of that metal or semiconductor. So how this resistance, change in resistance occurs? If we compress or stretch, there will be change in length, change in diameter, and change in resistivity of the materials. As a result, resistance of the that material will change. This is our basic working principle of piezoresistive transducer. Now, let's study. If metal conductor is stressed or compressed, its resistance changes due to change in length or its diameter. Also, there is change in the value of resistivity of the conductor when it is strained, and this property is called piezoresistive effect. Now, strain gauge is a piezoresistive transducer. Now, here we use various terms in strain gauge. Now, let us consider a strain gauge which is made up of a wire, and here L is the length of the wire, D is diameter of the wire, A is area of the wire, cross section of the wire, and rho is resistivity of the wire, and resistance of wire, as you know, in resistance is equal to resistivity into length upon per unit area. R is equal to rho L by A. So it is resistance of wire without before applying strain. Yeah, original resistance of the wire R. And now, what are the various parameter we are using here? Longitudinal strain delta L by L. It shows change in length per unit length when strain is applied. Now lateral strain, it shows change in diameter delta D by D, and stress is force per unit area. And here one term is used, Young's modulus. Young's modulus denoted by Y, or in some books its notation is E. It is stress upon strain. Stress is S denoted by S, and strain is EL. Here we are talking about longitudinal strain. Now Poisson ratio. Poisson ratio is lateral strain upon longitudinal strain. That is minus delta D by D upon delta L by L. And GF is Gauss factor, which is change in resistance per unit change in length, delta R by R upon del O upon EL. And here delta R is change in resistance after applying stress. Now we know that the original resistance of the wire is R. R is equal to rho L by A, which is denoted by equation A. Now we want to calculate the Gauss factor. To calculate the Gauss factor, first, if we applied stress on this wire, whose resistance is given by R is equal to rho L by A. If we apply stress on this wire, there will be change in the resistance of the wire, and that change is due to change in resistivity, change in length, and change in area. Area of cross section will be depends on diameter of the wire. So now to calculate Gauss factor, first we differentiate this equation 1 with respect to S. Here we will take partial differentiation. Partial differentiation means we consider one variable at a time and other two are remaining constant. Now our equation 1 will be, after differentiating with S, will be equal to dr by ds, yani differentiation of r with respect to s is equal to, first we are considering rho and a are constant and L is varying with s. So rho by a is constant, delta L by delta s is change in length with respect to strain. Minus is due to, now we are considering a quantity A, which is varying with S. Yani rho and L is constant and 1 by A is varying with strain S. So rho L by A, if we differentiate 1 by A is minus 1 by A square, that minus sign shows that 1 by A is differentiated. That is minus 1 by A square, rho L constant, delta A by delta S, plus now L and A are constant and we are taking variable rho. L by A del rho by del S. Now this is my equation 2. Now divide this equation by R, throughout by R. R is equal to rho L by A. If we divide this equation by R, this will be 1 by R, dr by ds is equal to, if this term is divided by rho L by A, rho by A cancel out, it will remain 1 by L, del L by del S, minus this term will be divided by rho L by A. Here we get 1 by A del A by del S, plus now this term will be divided by rho, R, we get 1 by rho by del S. This is my equation 3. Now I have already told you that delta L by L is per unit change in length, which is equal to longitudinal strain. Delta A by A per unit change in area. Now delta A by A is change in area, but we have diameter. So we, in terms of A and D, what is the relation between A and D? Area is equal to pi into R square, and R is radius. Radius will be D by 2. So when we put D by 2 value in place of radius, we get pi D square by 4 is equal to area. Now we will differentiate this term with respect to S. We get del A by del S is equal to pi by 4 D square 2D. D square differentiation will be 2D into del D by del S. And after doing calculation and dividing by A, we get 1 by A del A by del S is equal to 2 by D delta D by ds. Now this value we will put equation 3. Now 1 by A del A by del S will be equivalent to 2 by D into delta D by ds. Now my equation 3 becomes this. Now my equation 3 becomes 1 by R dr by ds is equal to 1 by L delta L by ds minus 2 by D del D by ds plus 1 by rho del rho by del S. Now we have relation between change in resistance with respect to change in length, change in diameter, and change in resistivity. Now we can rewrite this equation before in the form this one also. How? Because ds or delta S is common in all these terms. So we put we take out, we remove this term and we get dr by r is equal to delta L by L minus 2 delta D by D plus delta rho by rho. Now divide equation 4 by delta L by L. Now we will divide this equation with respect to delta L by L. So here this term will be dr by r divided by delta L by L is equal to, here will be 1 minus 2 delta D by D divided by delta L by L plus delta rho by rho divided by delta L by L. And this term delta R by R divided by delta L by L, which is equivalent to Gauss factor. Gauss factor is equal to 1 plus 2b plus delta rho by divided by delta L by L. Here minus del D by D divided by delta L by L is denoted by terms Poisson's ratio, which is denoted by V. Now this is my Gauss factor. This is my derivation of Gauss factor. How we calculate Gauss factor for a given matter. Now, if delta rho by rho divided by delta L by L is very small in case of metal, so in case of metal we can neglect this term, and this shows that GF will be equal to 1 plus 2B. Yani 1 plus twice of Poisson's ratio. V is Poisson's ratio. Now for semiconductor, we cannot neglect this term because this term is large. So GF is equal to 1 plus 2B plus del rho by rho divided by delta L by L in case of semiconductor. So we can say that Gauss factor of a semiconductor will be more than the Gauss factor of a metal. Now to understand this, we take a simple numerical problem. Let's solve this numerical. First, try to understand what he want to ask. A carbon gauze has Gauss factor of 5 having a resistance of 120 ohm. If applied strain is 10 raised to power minus 4, find change in resistance, Poisson's ratio and lateral strain. So here he is asking about change in resistance, Poisson's ratio and lateral strain. Here what is given to us? Applied strain is given to us. That is equal to delta L by L, longitudinal strain. So Gauss factor, we know that change in resistance per unit resistance divided by change in length per unit length is equal to 5. Gauss factor is 5 to given us. So dr by r into delta L by L given to us, that is equal to 10 raised to power minus 4, which is equal to 5. From here we get, and r is also given to us 120 ohm. Here we get change in resistance, dr. dr is change in resistance. So that will be equivalent to 5 multiply by 10 raised to power minus 4 multiply by value of r. R is 120, which gives 0.06 ohm. So change in resistance is 0.06 ohm. Now Poisson's ratio, here value of GF is 5. 5 is small, so we can neglect the terms del rho by rho divided by del L by L. Now GF is equal to 1 plus 2V. V is Poisson's ratio is equal to 5, so V is equal to 2. Now lateral strain, he is asking about lateral strain. Lateral strain is delta D by D. We know Poisson's ratio, V is equal to minus del D by D upon del L by L, and del D by D is equal to Poisson's ratio multiplied by delta L by L, which is equal to 2 into 10 raised to power minus 4. So I hope this numerical is clear to you. Now various types of strain gauge are used here. One is metal wire, second is metal foil, third one is Gauss type. In metal wire types, we have a simple wire in which we apply force. It may be tangential force or compressive force. Here compressive force is applied, here tangential force is applied. Now metal foil, here wire can, if force is more then wire can break, then we go to metal foil. Metal foil mein we have a metal foil like this structure, and we apply force in this foil. And Roget's type we have different arrangements, 190-degree arrangement, 45-degree and 60-degree. And this Roget's type is useful when we don't know the direction of the applied strand or force. This Roget's type is useful when we don't know the direction of the force. Now practical arrangements, there is a one cantilever is shown where force is applied. That force will provide stress on this strain wire, and here will be change in resistance, and we can measure with the help of strain gauge this change and calculate our applied force. For first air, we are a half bridge and full bridge are used. This is full bridge type and this is half bridge type. In half bridge type, there is no need of dummy gauze. Dummy gauze is applied here in nickel. Dummy gauze is nickel is used here, which is used to compensate the temperature, effect of temperature on the strain gauge. So these are various practical arrangement of strain gauge. Hope this topic is clear to you. Now in next session we will continue our lecture on other on load cell. So till then, bye and thank you.